Hello, hello, ladies. What's going on? My name is Becky LaFave, better known as Becky in Charge, because I help you take charge of your business by helping you build a personal brand, being more profitable, and utilizing social media to influence whoever you want to influence to be a part of your business. So today we're talking about your social media is boring and how do I fix it? Your social media is boring and how do I fix it? How many of you right now feel this way about your social media? Hello, whoever's saying hi. You're not using StreamYard. You haven't accepted StreamYard, so I can't really see your name, but I'm excited you're here. Thanks for joining us. So do you feel like I have nothing to say? I have nothing to share. I don't know what to post, right? How many of you feel that way? Drop a one below if you're like, that's me. Now, it's so funny because I just was gotten off a coaching call earlier and she was stating like, I don't know what to post. I don't know how to post. I've never posted before. And I said, isn't this funny? I never thought I would ever use social media for business. And here I am teaching social media marketing, how to grow your business online, right? And so we had such a laugh about it, but it's so true. Like you never thought until now, like I'm going to grow a business online and where do I start and how do I do all the things? Right. So, it can be a little confusing and you feel like you have nothing to say. So here is the real deal. I'm excited to talk to you about it today because this is one thing that's really close to my heart because I really felt the same way when I was showing up online and you hear all the different things, right? You hear all the different things. And I just want to really tell you that the power of your authentic voice is really what's most important. Okay. Your authentic voice is really what's most important. And so being a woman in the coaching industry now, I see the importance of believing in yourself, number one, right? Believing in yourself and speaking your truth. There's a lot of noise out there, right? And so you want to really be able to hone in your own. So, and if you don't know, before we get into the content today, I really want to share with you coming up in 2 more weeks, we are doing Attract Leads on Autopilot, and I will dive deeper. It's a 4-day, totally free. If you want to be a part of this challenge, drop in leads below. I'll make sure you get all the information to it. So we'll be diving deeper into a lot of things that I'm going to share today, but taking your business to the next level, right? So if that's something that you want to do and you're like, I really got to learn this social media game, Becky, I really got to learn how to use this to grow my business. Well, this is where it's at. Okay. So drop leads below and I will make sure that you get it. Yes, Debbie, I will make sure you get it. Awesome to see you here. Thank you for joining. Okay. So here's the thing. It's really about, oh, let me take that. See all the different things you get distracted on. Can be really easily to get distracted, right? So we want to talk about we are boredom with our messaging, right? How many of you feel bored with your messaging? So a lot of times people say, well, Becky, I feel like I'm saying the same thing over and over. Well, realistically, your business is about one thing, but you're multi-level of you're a human, right? You're a human. So you get bombarded with all these different messages on what you should look like and what you should sound like and how you should act, right? Well, last time I checked, I am HR. Okay. How many of you feel that way right now? You run in your own business, you own your own business. Thank God you're your own HR. And guess what? How cool is that? You get to use your own voice. You don't have to act like somebody else. You don't need to be somebody else. The cool thing about you is you get to be you. And that's the one thing I want to get across today is really important to be able to show up as you. Now, not like you want to show up professional, like let's bring it up a notch, ladies, right? Like we can all get down and dirty with it all, right? But let's show up and be more professional. But we're not in the corporate world. We don't have to act like somebody else. That was one of my coaching clients. She worked in the corporate world her whole life. Like how many of you work in the corporate world right now? Drop a 2 below or put corporate if you worked or have worked in the corporate world. I will tell you right now, I've never worked in that. I've been an entrepreneur my entire life. 32 years I'm going on as being an entrepreneur. And it's so funny when my husband hears me talking, he's like, babe, you can't talk like that to your customers. You can't talk to that to your clients, blah, blah. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Where are you coming from? And then I realized he's so used to working with HR at work. And I remind him I am HR, right? Like, how many of you feel that way? So if you don't, you got to put a different cap on because you get to be freely to be you. So how exciting is that? Okay. So you get to show up as you, get creative, get deeper with your clients, deeper connection with your audience. You get to impact people's lives in a major way, doing it just like I'm doing right now. How many of you are utilizing, doing lives for your business? Drop a 3 below if you're utilizing lives for your business. And if you're not, I get it. I get it. So many of you are so scared to get out there and be the face of your company. But that's truly where you're going to start to grow, is be your face. Like, people want to hear your voice. I know it doesn't sound like they do, but trust me, they do. So let's go to it. Number 1, here's the thing to unlock the power of your authentic voice for social media is get clear on your values. When I say get clear, I don't want you to just be sitting up in here. Like, get clear, write them down, right? Every company, every business has a clear values and a message, right? Do you have clear values and a message? Because if you don't, people can't relate to you, right? They don't know what you're all about. They don't understand what are you taking a stand for, right? Like, I stand for women. I make it very clear. I stand for women. I work with women only. I have for the last 32 years, and I ain't changing it because I'm down with women, right? We get the same language. We understand each other, right? I can have masculinity and I can have a female or however you say it, the way I talk, right? Because I am more masculine than some women. That's okay. I get to be both when I'm speaking to women. And I take a stand because I believe more money getting into women's hands, they go out and do bigger and better things in the world. How many of you agree with me? I take a stand to see more women make more money in the world. What is your stance? Okay, what is your stand? What are you passionate about? Like, I'm passionate about that. I'm passionate about my family. I'm passionate about my man. Me and my man been married. It's going on 33 years this year. Can I get an amen up in this house? Very passionate about my husband. I'm very passionate about my life. We get one life. How many of you act like you have 20 lives, right? Maybe you had. Maybe you've had a couple already. I don't know. Where you at? Because, we only get one last time I checked. And I want to make sure I damn well use it all up. Like, seriously, all up, giving it everything I got, right? So how many of you are passionate about what you do? If you're not, that's why your social media is boring, right? You got to get down and dirty with people. You got to get in the trenches. Where are you at with that? And I know it's not always easy, but when you clearly understand your message and your values, you will be able to write it out. Does that make sense? Drop in if this is making sense. Are you clear? Because your content will align with that. Okay. So if you're jumping on and you haven't heard and you're like, yes, I'm liking what you're putting down. If you like what I'm putting down so far, then you're really going to want to know about this leads challenge. Attract leads to you. It's a 4-day challenge that I'm doing. And I'm going to go, even more so into this, but it is all about attracting people to you. And so if you don't know how to do that on social media, you really are going to be having no business. You're going to have to constantly be dragging people to you. People show up to me all the time and say, hey, I want to work with you. How can I get involved with you? How many of you want that, right? How many of you want that? Hey, I want to work with you. I like what you got going on, what you're putting down. Me and you just align. Like, how can I show up on social media, right? Can you teach me this? Absolutely. Okay. Number 2, share your story. We all have a story, right? We have a story. People connect to stories. People get so worked up about their story, right? It's not about all the information, the whole journey. How can you bring it down and nestle in your story, right? I started out 25 years ago. right? 25 years ago, I moved to Arizona from Michigan. I was determined. I was determined to cross the world with not a pot to piss in, married and have a 5-year-old. Either one of us had jobs. We just moved away. We said, we're going to make something happen in our life, right? And you start to just tell the story throughout your content. People are like, oh, I'm from Michigan too, girl. What part? Oh, you live in Arizona? Whoa, I know somebody from Arizona. Oh, you're in business? You better, like, those are the stories that connect. It's not really what you do for a living sometimes, right? Or who you help. It's in those stories that we find connections. Why do we think, like, whenever we're sitting around a campfire and you hear a story, you remember that. It's the memories, it's the moments that you're like, oh God, she's just like me. Whenever I do these live videos and I'm out maybe speaking on a stage and somebody has seen my videos and came to where I'm speaking, they're like, oh my God, girl, you're just like who you are. I'm like, of course I am, right? This is who I am. If you was to meet me in the grocery store, girl, I'd be like, hey girl, what's up? This is who I am. Are you showing up the same way? Are you showing up the same way? Being vulnerable, being your authentic self, right? Be relatable, get deep in level. Did you read my post today? You might want to go back and read my post. Maybe that will strike something and say, oh my God, I could do the same thing. I can write something like that and put that on my wall, right? What are you doing to be really authentic and get them locked into who you are, right? Number 3, use your own voice, right? Look at what I put out there and take that and use your own voice. This is powerful stuff, right? Don't try to sound like somebody else. There's somebody out there that maybe you're like, I need him to learn. She's in my industry, whatever it is. And you like the way she's showing up. Well, show up like that, but use your own voice. Where's your authentic piece of this? Because people do business with you because you're you. Right? I'm not the only girl out there doing this, but there's some reason why you show up and you want to see what I'm putting out because you can relate to me. You see something in me that you're like, man, that girl, I just dig her. Like I'm down with it, right? How many of you feel that way? Let me know. Can you relate to me at some point? Have you related to me at some point, right? So because I don't follow these scripts, I use my authentic voice. Now, is there things that we do strategically in our business? Absolutely. Is there ways to speak? Most definitely, right? And these are the things that you want to learn, but naturally being you is good enough, right? Because we are good enough. That's just the way it is. That's the way I clearly look at it, right? Because you are bold and courageous and beautiful. Thank you. That was beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that. And you know what? And I do this for you so you can see that this is what it's about. Now, Becky, 5 years ago, she didn't look like this. Now, she always looked like this because this is really who I am. But if you would have went back, which you can't go back because Facebook, took me down and I'm rebuilding. But, if you could have gone back and looked at everything, you'd be like, oh my God, that girl has really grown. Yeah, because I learned how to use social media. Just like today in my coaching class, she's like, oh my God, like your information. I have a Brand Academy course that teaches social media and how to get out there and brand your authentic voice. And she's like, oh my God, it was like such great information, but it was kind of overwhelming for her. And I break it down. So she goes, okay, now I'm super clear. It's like we're in this overwhelmed state until we have the right knowledge. And then you can see the path clearly. And then you're like, oh, okay, I can now show up like that. Like, yeah, I get it. It's when you don't get it, right? I mean, that's obvious. Can I get an amen? Like you get it when you get it. It's like until you really sit down and really get a clear picture, that's when you get it. And that's how you get to show up. Okay. Now, number 4, take imperfect action. When I first started, my coach at the time, she's like, Becky, I just want you to do X, Y, and Z. Okay. Just X, Y, and Z. I'm like, okay, I can do this. Now, I have to tell you, my coach said, you're going to do 30 days live every single day. Now, how many of you, if I said to you right now, Becky, if you want to show up and be seen and grow your business, you've got to do 30 days live every single day. Would you be like, yeah, no, I'm out. Like, no way, I ain't doing it. Or would you be like, okay, I said, I'm going to do my business. This is what I'm going to do. Right. How many of you were there? Like, be honest with yourself. Because for a hot minute, I was like, oh, okay. Because when you pay $20,000 for a coach, you better do what you're told. You know what I'm saying? If you want to grow a business. And so I'm giving you all this free value right now, what I paid for. Okay. So can I get some love below and say, thank you, Becky, for sharing so generously? Because that's exactly what I'm doing right now. And if you want to be seen, you got to start doing live video. And I remember thinking, okay, I got to do a video every single day. And I was like, I'm going on vacation. Okay. Is that an excuse, or is that I figure it out? Right. I figured it out. And I went live every single day. Now I had a plan. I got a strategy down and I had a plan to do it, but I did it. And so today, when you look at me and you're like, but you're so good on camera, Becky, it's a natural thing for you. No, it wasn't. Okay. So these are things you get to learn, and you get to show up being not perfect, taking action, sucking at, being a procrastinator. Doesn't do you any good. And building a business, wait until you get it right. Like, so many people said, oh, I'm going to do live video when I'm ready. You're never going to be ready. You're just never going to be ready. Until you push that button, that's when you're ready. Like, you just have to do it. And then it gets easier and easier. But the more you procrastinate in your business, the more you procrastinate on your life, you know what? Last time I checked, it wasn't about you. That's a hard thing to hear. Last time I checked, you're not doing this business for you. Because if you are, that's being selfish. You're in your ego and you're never going to make it. And let's just take that in for a second. Why are you doing your business? Now, yes, can you be doing it for your own personal reasons? Yes, to make money. You have a family to support. You got bills. There's no reason for you to have a job. Money has nothing to do with that, right? Money comes anyway because of it. But if you're showing up to support and be there for somebody else, that's what your business is about. It's not about you, right? So when you take yourself out of it and say, okay, I'm in this business because X, Y, and Z, I'm going to show up. Right? I'm going to show up because that one woman out there needs to hear my voice today. And she needs to know that she gets to have her own voice. She gets to show up. She gets to be imperfect. She doesn't have to procrastinate anymore on her life and the person that she's supposed to help on the other side. Right? That's the most important piece. So tell me, what are you doing in your business? Drop it below. Who are you out there serving? And why aren't you serving? Why aren't you showing up and doing your life? I really want you to take that in and let yourself know that, if you're not showing up, you're living in your ego. You need to manage your own mind. That tells me you need to manage your own mind. You're thinking about yourself too much, and you're not thinking about the woman or the man or the person that, needs to hear you and grow that business so more people hear you, right? If you're not getting on live, how do people spread the message, right? If you feel like this is powerful and you've got other friends, or somebody on your Facebook feed could use this, hit that button and share this out. That's how prosperity happens for all of us, right? If you're keeping this locked up inside for you, it's called stingy, right? Be in prosperity, because that's the winning team, right? When we're on the winning team, everybody wins, right? Just like in my marriage. If we ain't in a loving, connecting, and being on the same team, we don't get to have the conversation. How many of you live like that in your marriage, your family, your friends, your business? Loving, connecting, and being on the same team is what's important, right? How does that show up in your life? This is how it shows up: by giving freely of your information, sharing and loving other people. Okay. That is my message today. So if you got something powerful out of this, I don't care if it was one thing, drop it in and let me know, because that's what keeps my energy going. That keeps me wanting to show up and showcase more for you on how you get to show up and grow your business utilizing social media. All right, you guys, thank you so much for being here. Always feel free to reach out to me. And if you're not a part of She's in Charge of Business by Becky LaFave group, you might want to join today. All right, take care, and we'll see you soon. Bye for now.